guys, and welcome back to the Basswood Carving channel. Alright, today I got a cool little ornament for you. I did this one. This was just a little stocking, pretty easy. And then I'll have the pattern up for the website. And I'll also have some information about my Patreon coming up, where we'll be doing some things. So I'll talk about that later in the video. But today we're going to work on this little Christmas stocking. So I did a little something different on this one. I had a little elf popping out of the Christmas stocking, so we're going to give that one a carve today and make an ornament out of it. Alright, so here's all I did. I used the same little pattern, and then I just come out and drew him some little cheeks coming out, a little nose, and his little hat. So pretty simple. You could probably draw that on your own, but if not, we'll maybe get some other pattern up for it. And then I got another one similar to it that's gonna have a little different coming out of the stocking. So yeah, let's get started on this one. Alright, so first thing we're gonna do is just start carving down to this first stocking here. And let me give you a size, because I always forget to give out the size. So on this particular block, we're using a 4-inch piece, and it's 4 inches tall, and it's a little under 2. It's to go 1 3/4 wide, and then it's 3/4 of an inch thick. So you can probably get by with a 1/2 inch. A lot of these pieces I just pulled out of my scrap box, and most of them are a 1/2 inch. This one's a little bit thicker, about 1/8 of an inch thicker, looks like. So anything between a 1/2 inch and 3/4 will work. It just gives you a little more to round it down, a little more cut and come out of it. So alright, let's carve down to this. We're going to carve down to the line. So we're gonna leave the line on there, so that's where we'll round from. So just draw your pattern and follow along. Alright, so we're just gonna make some stop cuts to get us down in there. Now talk about the knives I'm going to use today. These two knives are actually out of the 2-knife set, and you can find a link in the comments in the description and below the video. This is to the 2-knife set. This is what I bought. It's got a little detail knife in it, and then it's got a bigger detail knife in it. So that's what we're using for this particular carving today. The other knife set on there on Amazon is a 3-knife set, so it's got a big hog, 1 3/4 inches maybe, I think, almost 2 inches. And it's got somewhat of a chip carving knife in it, and then it's got the same detail knife, and the detail knife's about 1 inch, and I think it's 1.5 inches is what it comes out to be. Yeah, look, they call it 1.5 inches. Alright, so those are the 2 knife sets actually that I usually put in the comments in the description. So if you're looking for a knife set, I know I had an email from a lady that asked me, you know, what was the best that her son was wanting to get into carving, and what was the best, you know, for them that she could get for Christmas to get started carving. So, you know, I'm a fan of the Flexalls. I use a lot of knives, a few different kinds of knives actually. I've only got a few favorites. But, you know, as you start wood carving, you'll know that you'll buy a lot of tools. It's just hard to say what's best. It's just what you like, you know, what you can feel comfortable with. And everybody starts off with somewhat of a basic knife set, and then usually once you go to a carving show or something like that, you see knives and you're like, oh, I want to get me one of these, and I want to get me one of these, and you know, so you'll end up buying a lot of tools. But if you're just looking to get started in the carving, you know, those are a couple. They're not too expensive. I think the 2-knife set is like, I want to say like $48-49 for 2 knives, which is not bad for 2 decent knives. I mean, I use the little detail knife a lot when I'm doing cowboys. So that and my lion's knife, which you guys usually see me use, That's my other favorite knife. It's got the curved end blade on it. But yeah, I'm a fan of the Flexalls. I mean, when you get them first, you gotta do pretty good amount of stropping, but once you seem to get them stropped down and sharp, they hold sharp pretty good. I mean, I usually strop all my knives before I get started. Anyway, so yeah, so check those out for your grandson or son, whoever you were talking about getting started in the wood carving, and that's cool. Send them my way for the videos, and send them to YouTube if they're wanting to learn some basics carving. There's a lot of good carvers on there doing basic stuff. My channel focuses right now on beginner stuff because I want to get a lot of hoping to pick up a lot of beginner new carvers. So yeah, it's good to hear somebody new's getting into carving. It gets exciting, especially like right now since we can't go to our carving clubs and stuff. It's pretty cool the feedback I'm getting from people on YouTube that are wanting to get into carving. It's pretty cool. I say once you get started, you'll be addicted. You know, you'll want to be carving something all the time. So we're basically just using stop cuts, working our way down to get to this stocking here. We just get it close to the line, then we'll come back and we'll cut everything in and get it all looking good. But you know, normally I would probably just take this into my little scroll saw and cut around this boot to make it fast if I was making a few of them, which it seems like every time I do a carving, somebody wants one, so I usually always do more than one anyway. Sometimes for the video, I'll do a couple before I get started doing the video, just so I know, you know, what my plan is. But for this particular one, I didn't, so we're gonna see this thing come to life for the first time. But we're just trying to hog away some of this wood to get us close to where we need to be. Just making sure. But yeah, I'll have some information coming up about Patreon for our community. I'd like to start a community for mostly new carvers that just need some guidance and that. Just in the past couple months, I did get some better internet, so I was thinking about doing some lives and maybe doing some carving with other people that were wanting to learn, sort of some lessons. I know sometimes it helps out a lot when you got somebody sitting right there, and although we can't be right by each other right now with the COVID and everything, and some people don't even have a carving club or classes or anything. So I was looking into maybe starting a little community for people that want to learn, and we can carve a project together, and then we can put it up on the Patreon and what's coming up, so everybody can get their wood and have their size wood ready to go or their pattern ready to go, and just carve together on the same piece, which I think would be really cool. I really enjoy that when I get to go to my carving club and carve around with my buddies and do little seminars and things like that to learn. So maybe we can get a community going here on the Basswood carving community. So let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in something like that. And I'm going to start putting some ideas together. And so, like I said, since I got some decent internet now, I think we can connect through Zoom or something like that. And carve together. So be careful, I don't want to go too far in on that one yet. Okay, so we're just working our way down. Chipped off on me a little bit right there, but we'll fix it. We can round that off. No big deal. I want to thank everybody for the support that I've been getting on the channel. I was going for 100 subscribers, and you guys put me over that, so that was really cool. Guess my next goal now is, see, since we got 100, guess we'll make the next goal at 300. See if we can get to 300 subscribers. If we get 300 new carvers, that would be awesome. But if you're already a carver, then I appreciate you checking out my channel. And like I said, these videos that I'm doing right now are all geared to try to give a bunch of beginning projects just for somebody getting started in carving. That's easy and something they can do without a lot of expense. So far, most of the carvings that I've done, I think, on the channel is all been from just scrap pieces of wood that I've had sitting around. My bin was pretty full of just stuff from cutting rough outs and cutting stuff for people at the carving club. So I've had a bunch of scraps, and it's been pretty kind of challenging, really, and fun to pick up some scraps and try to come up with some ideas. What can I carve out of this? And since it's Christmas, these are little gifts you could carve for your friends and family. Give them something homemade, something you did with your own hands. If you are a carver, let me know if whenever you carve something, people want one. That always seems to happen every time I show my mom or one of my family members, especially my wife, a carving piece. They're like, oh, I want one of them. So just curious if anybody else ever has that. I'm sure you do. So a good way is to, like, when you're coming down to something like this, carving down to a line, is to leave a little bit of the line on there and just work your way around, and get to where you leave kind of the line on there. And then, like, right in here where I'm gonna cut in this trim on the stocking, and then like up here on the hat, I really won't, I'll just come close to it, and then as I cut that in, then I can start working and shaping that down, and I don't get too far off my pattern or come too far in on my pattern. So that way I can, kind of round things in and stuff like that with my lines, keeping my lines on there. Just a little tip for beginners. Alright, so let's come up here and start by this little fuzzy ball. I'll work my way in towards the little hat. So I guess this is a little elf in a stocking, is what we'll call this one. Okay, so we'll cut in there. Let's take this corner off a little bit and start rounding that ball. And this top piece, we're at an end grain right here, so we're gonna have to work carefully around here so we don't chuck it end off and have to start all over. put your glove on. I always forget to say that too sometimes, but if you're new, get used to wearing your glove. Sometimes I wear my glove, sometimes I don't, but for the video, I try to give you the best view of the piece. And sometimes it's hard to do that when especially when you're working with little pieces with that glove on. But use your glove. Get better with your skills, with your knife skills, maybe. You know, I say that and I'm probably get cut, but I'm comfortable with not using a glove and not cutting myself. I'll have to say I haven't really gouged myself bad. Enough that I would need stitches or anything, but a lot of times if I get a little nick, I can usually stop it with some super glue or new skin. But I always try to not have my hand in the direction that I'm cutting. I think probably the worst incident I had was that I did have the glove on and I was using a gouge and was pushing on a piece and had my hand in the way, and it chipped off the end and speared me right in the hand and the palm. So my glove didn't do much for me there. Needless to say, the glove won't stop a gouge. But it is good for when that knife slips. A lot of times that's what happens. At least that's what I've learned, is how I've gotten cut most of the time was working on a piece, usually a little piece, and it ends up breaking off and getting me. Alright, we're getting there. We're going to cut this in a little bit more right here at the top, and then we can start putting in our details and finishing things off here. See, like right here, if I'm doing this and that piece breaks off right there, that's where I get cut, or that's where you get cut. So if you turn that piece around and you feel like it's going to break off, anytime you're working and it don't seem like that knife's moving because of your grain, spin it around and go the other direction. And that might save you from getting whacked. Take this in just a little bit more right here, and I think we're going to start cutting in our pieces. Okay, so I've got it down to here, pretty well close to my lines. Alright, so let's see what we'll shape first. What we'll do is we'll start right here at the ball and kind of work our way down, because we know the ball, little fuzzy ball, is going to be the same depth as the hat, And then we're going to have this, the nose will be our highest point. And then the two trims will be next. And the face will kind of sit back in there with little cheeks. And the boot, the stocking part will sit a little lower than the trim. So let's start up here at the ball. Alright, so let's do a little stop cut right there. Separate the ball. Right there. And then we can just round them tips off a little bit. The back, since this is an ornament, if you want to do the back, you know, go ahead and shape the back, or you can just leave the flat part of the back. Leave it flat like that and work your way down the front. Alright, so we want to always take off those factory cuts, those factory edges, I call them, from where it was processed. Alright, so we're going to take and cut right here. Start separating the hat and the trim. And we're going to separate the bottom from the nose. Stop cut right there. Start separating the head from the hat. Just kind of marking it in. Marking all of our lines in. And then we can go back and start cutting all of our depth and finish rounding everything in. Okay, now we're going to separate the nose. Here, what? Let's use the little guy. Little detail. Make a little triangle cut right there. And a little triangle cut right there. on the nose. Okay, we'll separate the top of the stocking. Since we want that to be higher, we'll cut down towards it. Same thing, whoop, one way. Right here. Alright, we'll put a little triangle cut right there on that side of the nose. A little chip out of there. Little triangle cut. Little chip out. Okay. Alright, let's take this down. Back to my big knife for a minute. Let's get this down. A little closer to the line. And we gotta fix this here where it chipped off. Take all these pencil edges off. That was almost together right there. That's why I said those end grains will get you. really it's just about looking at your piece. You know, like I said in the last couple videos, just look your piece over, see where you need to take some off, where you need to make it look a little more natural. Okay, let's cut in this bottom trim and we can start rounding things up and putting our texture. Once you got it kind of laid in there, then you can start coming back and really finishing out, making things a little deeper, give a little more depth. And putting your final touches on it. Okay, we still got some work to do up here, but that's almost got the boot stocking done. Okay, probably gonna take her down a little thinner. There we go. It's amazing sometimes what just a couple more cuts will do. Okay, we're starting to get our shape now. Let's go in a little deeper right here. Alright, now we're going to take our detail knife here and we're just going to get off these pencil lines and these hard edges. I really like using the little detail knife for rounding edges, because you can just get in these little areas without taking a whole lot off. Okay, let's fix his cheeks. I want his little cheeks to sit below his nose, and we still got to do some rounding on the nose. Sorry guys, I'm trying to keep it in front of the camera for you. his cheek down just a little bit more. Okay, let's round off this top. Shape this brim a little bit, or trim, I should say. Excuse me. Okay, see if we can get a little more. These edges off. It's a little long here, but I want to make sure I don't chip too much of it off. This is not real high detailed carving. So it should be pretty easy for you. And like I said, a couple other videos, you know, start off bigger than what you expect it to be. And then you can work your way down. And once you throw the paint to it, it really makes it come alive. Just a simple little carving. Simple little ornament. Alright, I think we're going to put a little texture on it. Let's take this down just a little bit here at the top so it ain't so high. And we're going to paint him up. Alright. Okay, let's get our little micro V here. And put some texture on this. On the ends, if you want to do the ends a little bit, that way you know it don't look unfinished on the ends. Go ahead and put your details, your fuzz around the sides. Alright, I gotta do the ball, the fuzz ball. Same thing, just rough it up. Almost there, guys. I'm gonna do this up and then I'll bring you back and when they're all painted. When we get, I won't make you sit through the painting. We'll bring you back and show you what the finished piece looks like when we get her all painted up. Alright, so like I said, if you want to go ahead and round off the back and carve in the back and do all that, feel free to do that. For this video and the time, I'm not going to do the back because it's going to hang on the tree anyway, so you won't even see the back. I'll put some paint on it, but other than that, we're calling it done. Alright, so let me wet this baby down, clean it up, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, wet her all down, and that's what she looks like. And like I said, once we get some paint on it, it'll really stand out and you'll see everything. Alright, so we'll bring you back when the painting's all done. Okay friends, we're back. We got her all painted up, and so we'll use the little green up here at the top for the hat, and white, snow white it's called, on the trims, red on the stocking, and we used a mocha for the face. Just want to thank everybody for supporting the channel, and we're going to try to get some more videos up before Christmas of some fun little Christmas ornaments that you can do to send out to your friends or family. And so I really appreciate, again, everybody's support, the comments, the emails. It's just been really cool to get that kind of support. So if you're new to carving and you're a beginner carver, put that down in the comments or send me an email, and we'll see what kind of support we can do to help you. But again, I really appreciate the support that everybody's been giving us here at the Basswood Carving channel. So if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe, click that like button, and click that notification bell so you get notified when we put up a new video. All right, appreciate everybody, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.